My name is Alex. I've always been a simple man, as simple as 2 plus 2. I worked as a landscape designer, creating gardens for people who had more money than taste. My wife, Jenna, was different. She was a work of art, beautiful, complex, and, as I later realized, deadly dangerous. She dreamed of luxury, of a life that I, with my roses and lawns, could not give her. One evening, she came to me with a stack of papers and the most charming smile. "Honey, I've been thinking about our future, about our security." It was a life insurance policy. For $5 million. The beneficiary, of course, was her. "Jenna, that's a huge amount. The monthly payments will eat up half my income," I protested. "Don't be such a pessimist, Alex," she cooed, running her finger down my cheek. "Think of it as an investment in my peace of mind. If, God forbid, something happens to you, I won't be left out on the street. You love me, don't you?" I did. Blindly, foolishly, unconditionally. I signed. At that moment, I thought I was signing a financial document. In reality, I was signing my death warrant. The first few months were business as usual. Jenna was sweet and caring, even too much so. She started making me healthy smoothies in the morning and made sure I took my vitamins. I felt increasingly tired, but I blamed it on work. The alarm bell rang by accident. One evening, Jenna asked me to order theater tickets for us from her laptop while she was in the shower. I opened the browser, and the last search query was displayed on the search engine's home page. My fingers froze over the keyboard. It said, "Buy colorless, tasteless poison." My heart sank. I quickly opened the browser history. What I saw was like a horror movie script. Symptoms of digoxin poisoning. How digoxin mimics a heart attack. How long does it take for insurance to pay out on a policy? Countries without extradition from the U.S. in 2025. Digoxin. A heart medication that, in large doses, causes cardiac arrest and is difficult to detect in a standard autopsy unless specifically sought. She didn't just want me dead. She planned it. Methodically, cold-bloodedly, studying the details as if it were her thesis project. My vitamins. My morning smoothies. My constant fatigue. Everything fell into place. I closed my laptop and started shaking. But not from fear. From rage. She wanted to kill me for money. 4 pieces of paper that I myself had signed. Well, if she wants a show, she'll get one. But on my terms. I realized I couldn't go to the police. What would I tell them? My wife Googles poisons. They'd look at me like I was crazy. I needed irrefutable evidence. And I needed to disappear, because every day in that house could be my last. The plan was born from her own search queries. She wanted me to die of a heart attack? Fine. She wanted to collect the insurance? Perfect. She wanted to run away? Well, I'd have to run away. I started my game. Creating a digital ghost. I secretly copied her entire browser history to a secure flash drive. That was my main piece of evidence. Financial preparation. I started withdrawing cash little by little from my personal account, which she didn't know about. I opened an anonymous account. This was my money for a new life. Studying poison. I began to study digoxin myself. I learned that it could be bought on the black market. And I found a way to do it through the darknet using bitcoins. I ordered a small but lethal dose. Not for myself. For her. Or rather, for her fingerprints. Choosing a location. I chose Costa Rica. A beautiful country, popular with expats, and most importantly, the bureaucracy there doesn't work as fast as in the US. I would have time to disappear. I played the role of a loving, unsuspecting husband. I drank her smoothies, pouring them down the toilet, took her vitamins, throwing them away on my way to work, and complained of increasing chest pains and shortness of breath. I saw a predatory gleam in her eyes. She thought her plan was nearing completion. She didn't know that my plan was entering its final stage. I chose Friday evening for my departure. I knew that on Saturday mornings, Jenna always went to yoga and then to lunch with her friends. I would have a few hours head start. On Thursday evening, I received a package with digoxin. The bottle was small, with no identifying marks. Working with gloves on, I carefully wiped it down and left it in the most visible place in our shed, where I kept my gardening tools. I knew she would find it, and wouldn't be able to resist picking it up. On Friday, I prepared our last dinner. I acted as usual, but inside I was tense as a string. "You look pale, dear," she said, pouring me some wine. "Yes, my heart has been acting up all day," I replied, massaging my chest. "You're probably just tired." After dinner, when she went to take a shower, I acted quickly. I took out the bottle of digoxin, which, as I expected, was no longer where I had left it, and added a few drops to her glass of wine, which she had left on the table. Then I put on gloves, carefully poured the rest of the poison down the kitchen sink, and shoved the empty bottle deep into the trash can, under the coffee grounds and peelings. When she came out of the shower, I was already lying on the couch, breathing heavily. "Alex? What's wrong?" she asked, but there was no panic in her voice. There was anticipation. "My heart," I croaked. "Call an ambulance." Those were my last words to her. I closed my eyes and pretended to lose consciousness. I don't know how long she waited before calling 911. She probably wanted to make sure I wasn't breathing. When the paramedics arrived, they pronounced me dead from a massive heart attack. Everything looked exactly as she had planned. I was taken to the morgue. That was the riskiest part of the plan. I had an accomplice, an old friend who worked as a paramedic. For a very decent sum, he agreed to help me. While Jenna was at home receiving condolences, he switched the tags on the bodies and took me out through the service exit. The next day, an unidentified homeless man who had died on the same day was cremated in my place. And I, with a new passport in the name of Mark Robinson and a bag of cash, was already on my way to the airport. Although faking one's own death is illegal in many places and can lead to charges of fraud and perjury, I felt I had no other choice. I flew to San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica, and settled in a small town on the Pacific coast. The first thing I did was buy a laptop and connect to the internet. Then I sent an anonymous letter to the police in my hometown and to the insurance company. The letter contained just a few lines. "The death of Alex Carter was not an accident. Check the browser history of his wife, Jenna Carter. And look in the trash for an empty bottle of digoxin. The autopsy will reveal the truth." I attached the file. The one with her search history. I was sitting in a small cafe overlooking the ocean, sipping local beer. My laptop screen was showing a live broadcast of a news channel from my hometown. And then I saw it. Police cars outside our house. Reporters. And then they led her out of the house. Jenna. In handcuffs. Her face was contorted with shock and confusion. She couldn't believe that her perfect plan had fallen apart. She looked around as if she was looking for someone. Me. But I wasn't there. The news anchor was talking nonstop. "Jenna Carter has been arrested on suspicion of murdering her husband, Alex Carter, in order to collect a $5 million insurance payout. Evidence, including internet search history and a bottle of poison found at the scene, points to intentional poisoning." She had fallen into her own trap. All the evidence was against her. Her motive was obvious. Her digital footprint was irrefutable. Insurance fraud and conspiracy to commit murder are serious federal crimes that can lead to life imprisonment. I closed my laptop. I felt neither joy nor schadenfreude. Only immense, all-consuming relief. I had survived. I finished my beer and watched the sunset. The sun sank into the ocean, painting the sky in incredible colors. Here in Costa Rica, there is an expression, pura vida. It means pure life, or real life. I lost everything, my home, my job, my name. But I gained something much more valuable. I gained freedom and a second chance. Jenna wanted $5 million for my death. And I got a whole life. I think it was a fair deal. Alex Carter is dead. Long live Mark Robinson. And his life, damn it, is going to be beautiful.